Yo, Mark Ellert here. Today, everybody, I want to talk to you about the difference between reflecting and ruminating. That's something I actually discovered through therapy, through CDT, cognitive distortion therapy. So I used to be really bad about ruminating, but I eventually realized how detrimental it was to my mental health. I started changing gears into reflecting. That's why I want to share this with you, because it helped me a lot. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, I'm a suicide survivor. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and especially post my suicide attempt, because when I had a traumatic brain injury and I lost my vision, it was easy for me to ruminate. Ruminating is basically just festering in that negativity. Basically, all I did ruminating was beating myself up, blaming myself, and asking myself questions of things I didn't have the answers to. Even if I had those answers, I wasn't going to answer those questions. It was basically me just repeating thoughts in my head, asking questions just to beat myself up and feel crappy about it. Again, I was just festering in that. Basically, I just like, why? What did you do? What is wrong with you? Those are questions that I'm asking, but I'm not going to answer. They're just there to basically perpetuate that feeling of animosity and just anger and resentment towards the things that happen. And that's clearly not helpful, because I was already dealing with a lot. It took me a lot to rehabilitate myself, and while doing that, struggling, beating myself up, it made me have no motivation. I had no drive. I didn't want to get up and do anything. I just basically wanted to beat myself up and ask those questions and perpetuate that. But that's when I realized how much it was hurting me, and ruminating is not good. It's really not good to be able to just focus on things you can't change. I know what happened, I know why I did it and what happened, but I can't change it. So all I can do is answer the questions I can. I can be able to retrace my steps and give myself that compassion. I know what I did and why. So now what I want to do is I don't want to say, what did I do wrong? What should I do wrong? That's the thing of cognitive distortion. With CDT, there's 3 cues that you'll notice when you're noticing it. It's basically the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Is when I should have done this. I would have done this. I wish I would have. When you're beating yourself up with things you would have done differently, but you can't change. Again, you can't change it. So you can't beat yourself up over something you can't change. All it's going to do is hurt yourself. Those are 3 big cues with cognitive distortion. Those 3 shoulda, woulda, couldas. That's when you know you're getting into that distortion. And it's called distortion because cognitive is your brain function. Your brain function is being distorted by your emotions. You're emotionally upset about something, so you're escaping your rational mind. Your brain isn't working the way it should. You're using those emotions. So your brain is being distorted by that emotional feeling of disappointment. So it's easy for you to convince you to stay there and just be disappointed. Cognitive distortion, everybody. I mean, I'm all about the distortion, but not mentally. We don't need that. It's good to stay focused and keep your gears, you know? So that's why through cognitive distortion, when I notice those, I don't ask myself those questions. I don't try to beat myself up and ruminate. Instead of thinking about my past that I can't change and what I wish I would have done differently, I think about my future, what I am going to do differently. I don't want to just sit here and think about it and ruminate and beat myself up. I'm going to think about what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I'm going to do in the next 10 minutes to make myself feel better. I set goals and do things, everyone. That's why reflecting has helped me a lot. Rather than ruminating, I reflect. I'll be able to go through the steps and know what happened and why I felt that way. I don't want to feel that way again, so I'm going to try to avoid that. I'm going to avoid repeating those steps and avoid coming back to that emotional distress. Because everyone, it happens in cycles like that. It becomes a repetitious behavior. That's why I was able to stop it. Once I was able to stop it, I was able to actually change my mind and not beat myself up. And a good way to remember reflection, everyone. Reflection can help you because think about it in metaphor. When you go to the mirror to look at your reflection in the mirror, you want to get insight. You want to get information. So you go, oh, my hair's a little, let me check that right there. Okay, cool. My sideburns a little, I got to fix that. I got a little, You're looking in the mirror to get insight and information so you can change yourself to help yourself. You want your image to be better. You want what you're seeing in that reflection to be something that you appreciate and love. That's why you can do that mentally and emotionally. You can be able to reflect and get an image and some insight to how you were feeling and what you were doing. You can change those actions to help change those feelings. Reflection, everyone, is so much more important and it's so much healthier. That's why I've changed gears into reflecting. Yeah, this blind man's looking in the mirror doing reflection. But hell, if it works for this blind man, it works for anybody. Everyone, reflection is powerful, and use reflection. Don't ruminate, don't beat yourself up. You've already been through enough. Give yourself that self-love and self-compassion. If I can do it, anybody can. Mark my words, mental health awareness saved my life. Everybody, keep it sexy and make good choices.